Red Eye and that recap video have given you a good understanding of what has gone down over the last 3 days here for PEL Promo Week. But now we get into the business end of the competition. It is the final day, and by the end of today, 16 teams would have played 20 games, and we will have 4 spots in the PEL Phase 1 2020 up for grabs. My name is Tickle, and joining me on the desk to break down all the PUBG action, I've got Frost and Avenger. Let's get controversial right at the start. Realistically, we're saying that there's 4 spots, but have ENCE and 7 already taken 2 of them?
I would say 1 is locked for now, right? So technically and mathematically, ENCE is in a spot where they can lose all games today and get 5 points and still make it. Obviously, 7, they're in a good spot.
It's sitting comfortable up there.
We saw them, though, with a day where they had very, very low average. So if they have a really bad day today and we have a few teams that step up and ENCE doesn't frag out and win all the games yesterday, like they did yesterday, then we might see some teams take it away from 7.
Let's be honest, if ENCE keep on winning the games here, they're going to grab the whole 10-point chicken dinner.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of points that all the other teams want because they need those kind of points to grab their spots up there. And then it comes down to Tempus and Train Hard, of course, them being down there. Still top 4, but will it be enough though? We saw Train Hard yesterday. They got a pretty decent day, but they've been just above consistent all the time. Tempus, on the other hand, it's just been downhill more or less.
Yeah, and if Tempus or Train Hard have a rough game 1, and any teams outside, like from the 10th spot and up to 5th, if they have a good chicken dinner with 10, 15 kills, they're going to take one of those spots away from them, and then it's going to be all back to basics, and then you're only going to have 4 matches to do something magical.
It's basically from 10th place, inside games, up to 3rd place. I'd say that's the main part that we'll be looking on today. That's the main teams that have the chance to actually make it through, and nothing is decided on those parts. And 7, pretty much done for. At the same time, they can also decide who's going to join them. Because if they don't want some teams to join them for PEL, they can do something about it. And I'm not just talking about hot dropping them, but it could be that some of the teams are actually blocking them in PEL with their location where it drops, where it rotates, the kind of spots they like to play from.
Strategical decision,
exactly.
100%, yeah.
And if you don't want to have them there for another phase, now's the time to get rid of them.
We've seen Unity, especially on melee games, they took out ENCE so many times.
Yeah.
From, like, it was insane.
What's Novo there?
Yeah, in Novo, they were bridge camping them, they were making sure they couldn't come into the boat. ENCE, they had 1 boat, failed, 2 boats failed, and struggled a lot. And they actually changed their strategy to go to the military island because of that. They didn't want to go with boat anymore. And then they started going on the western bridge instead. So could be, you know, saying Unity, it's too rough for them, we don't want to see them in there. Even though Unity's been doing really well, we just haven't seen them win enough chicken dinners to deserve themselves that 4th spot, right? It could change everything today, though.
But I don't think it will happen in the first game. The first game, people will still keep on playing the normal game. They want to grab the points, even teams like ENCE 7, because they also want to see if Unity is not doing good, for example, in the first game, there's a high chance they won't do good in the next game, and then they don't really need to do anything about that themselves, but maybe focus on the other teams. That is a big threat for them in the league.
I'm going to stop you there just to remind everyone watching at home that if you have any questions for the desk or our casters, don't forget to go on Twitter and drop the hashtag AskPEL. We'll try and answer them for you. Get straight back into it. ENCE, why were they so dominating yesterday? Why could no teams catch them?
Momentum, they got into a spot where they got given, or they didn't even get given it, they figured out and found out that there's so much space, and they take it. And the experience that these guys have, once they figure out, okay, we can actually have a 2-2 split here, they're going to have a 2-2 split. Once they figure out today that they can have a 1-1-1-2 split if they want to do that, or a 1-1-1 4-way split, you know, they will do that. As long as PEL teams and very experienced teams, they get given space, or they figure out there's space to be taken, they will take it. And they will take it faster than these teams that have a lot of pressure on them coming from contenders. Because obviously there's a lot of expectations for themselves, there's a lot of hope for them. They hope to make it into PEL. But ENCE has just, we saw it yesterday on their angle games, like they're making a 2-2 split until circle 3, 4, 5, and then as magically get back together as a 4. We saw it 2 times yesterday in a wrangle. It's just insane to watch.
What it comes down to is that they are adapting to the teams here. They know that they're not getting punished by doing the 2-2 splits, even in the late game.
Yeah.
Because all the teams here, they're basically just crashing the outer edge of the circle.
Yeah.
That's the compounds they're trying to take. They don't go for the center compounds because they think there's a full team. But in reality, what we see is that it's always some sort of splits in the center, so it's basically just doing it. No one's contesting them, and it's kind of free for them. Hopefully some teams have caught up to that.
And also, we talked about this in first day. We saw it was extremely center heavy in the first day. And we said, you know what, it's going to change. The meta's going to see, teams are going to see it. It's been a lot of center heavy, and then people are going to play more edge. But they're not adapting fast enough. Now that everybody else is playing a lot more edge, it's so open in the middle. There's one team with a 2 split. There's another team where there's compounds open in phase 3 where it shouldn't be open, but people are not adapting fast enough. And they're being too passive, and they're not crashing these compounds because they're too afraid, I feel like.
And I mean, you got to look down on the experience of the players as well. Unity and bjorN is probably the 2 teams that is not currently in the top 4 that has the most kind of experience, LAN experience, and playing here as well. I mean, both of those teams have been played here before. Now, it's the question, is DA, are they just going to go for a shack in the center, or are they going to try to control a big part of the map in the center instead? Because if they do that, they can get a lot of points. Miramar, the best game, so they got to do something right now.
Before we jump into the game, a shout out to Samsung. Those curved monitors you see are the official monitors for the PEL. Pansy, D-Man, let's get that final day started.
Thank you very much. Yes, where would these players be without their C27 RGB5? I think I'll put an extra letter in there, maybe. Possibly.
Full commit, full send into sponsorship.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Just like the plane, I'm diving on in. And we are going to the final maps of Miramar. 2 Miramar, 1 Sanhok, and 2 Erangel is all that stands between 4 of these teams and their PEL dreams.
Quite nice.
I got toffeeism in there. I'm proud.
North to south, anyone's game. Nice open playing path. Really good start. I like that. I like to see teams having those options. Could be quite a central circle. Could just see your run-of-the-mill approach to this. Wait and see how that hits. But yeah, this is the day, right? We've seen individual teams stepping up quite well. Obviously, ENCE is your highlight one. We had Tempest doing quite nicely, and we had the CIS day. So 3 different days of 3 very different results. But again, it's the final day. This is where if you're going to do something, change something, look at how can we do it? That last-ditch attempt, today's the day to do it.
Yeah, I can only assume ENCE had some pretty boring victories since they had 0 highlights, despite winning 4 of the 5 rounds. PG18 very much in their territory at the moment, long dropping across. Some, of course, they're going across towards Impala way. Oi, oi, oi. Porto Paraíso sort of center mast a little bit further from this one. Speaking of people dropping, Deezer's getting shot here, yeah.
Yeah, that was close enough that something could have happened from that. Not normally do I get that excited, but maybe he was close enough to do something. This is a big circle to really throw people in a loop. Those islands might stay in for a while as well. No, it probably won't go to them, but they're going to stay in for a bit, I can imagine. I assume that they count as land.
But
if it's going to move towards land ratio, if you're talking about it mathematically, it's probably going to head a little further north than it is south.
I still remember that insanity game down at Porto Paraíso at GLL, I think it was Season 2, where we lost about 3 or 4 teams all in one spot, and it's everyone piling into the meat grinder of the gas station. But I can only hope and dream something like that happens. Tempus, I was about to say Tempo, I nearly threw him in there again. They had a magical first day with the 3 wins, and they've sort of carried on through. They are sitting in 3rd place at the moment, 100-point teams. Obviously the top 3 at the moment. There's a long way to go for anyone to try and chase them. The gap is slowly stretching. But that said, 4th place, 99 points. If you were to fall down to 10th place, that's 80 points. So 1 win, and you're right back in it.
Yeah, this is the thing. As much as you can say it is anyone's game, it really is within that top 7 position, I'd say. Something around that normally
I'd say it starts to fall away down the bottom, right? There's some that have really fell out of there. I hate to say it, but GamerLegion, they're going to have an insane day. Same as Airstation Mike, who came in, 2nd place through the contenders.
PG18, same can be said for them too.
Yeah, just not turned up, right?
No.
I mean, what, 66 points, PG18? It's been a disaster, really, for a team that has a really strong lineup. Clearly just not worked out for them.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what's gone so badly wrong. How are they so dominant throughout that contender season?
Okay, so this is a prime example, right? With PGA team, they're on 66 points. They are in the best position of anyone right now because obviously looting over Impala way, they could get to a good spot. It took them a long time to get there, so maybe a little delayed. But a big win in game 1 would launch them to, say, I don't know, 86 points, and suddenly they're right back in with a shout.
Yeah, but it just feels like they haven't been able to even look close to that, and that sounds harsh, but it just doesn't feel likely. Quizzy with a nade, trying to catch off Morpheus on the other side. Didn't think it went through the doorway, so Quizzy going to try and back off from this as already maybe looking for a new angle, because Orange is creeping up, doing the slow walk, but I think Morpheus might be aware of something coming his way, as that was an underhand nade waiting to go.
Unity always involved in the very early skirmishes, aren't they?
They love an early fight.
Be it an Octave going down, or there's another cheeky underhand, but he's already backed away from it. Did take a bit of damage. He jumps out, goes aggressive, and it pays off. Morpheus, oh, but he's been knocked by an Octave. The backup player comes in, and he's there to clean him up.
Could an Octave have had the revive then before flushing the other player? I don't know. That could be a little bit of a frustrating one, but it is what it is. Awkward initial trades. Always going to be the case, it feels. If you're going to go for those early scraps, you run such a heavy risk of losing out on players. We see IG, who had a pretty good starting spot as well. A lot of these teams opting on the kind of southeast of Los Leones. Not a bad shout either. It does seem like it likes that sort of area. And we see ENCE. I wonder how split they're going to be this time, because this is going to be a bit of a land grab for a lot of these teams, as there isn't much land in the circle. No,
it's really a case of it, and especially even the center point, which obviously everyone likes to center up, but that sort of hill area around Puerto Paris, there's not a great deal of spots for them to go to. I wonder, right, if you think of Phase 1 circles, which I keep harping on about, I know, sorry guys in chat, but it is kind of looking that way. That big road down to Puerto Paraiso with those compounds either side of it, we used to get circles finishing there quite often. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if it is going to pull that sort of situation. It's a horrible circle, because you're either in one of those compounds or you're screwed.
Yeah. It's very defining. Again, I'm happy to see something different if these teams get pressured or pushed by this. SKUIJKE and a little run around. 7 aren't too far away, so he needs to be careful himself. We're going to be popping some shots off in the other direction, as Trainhard, not good for them. A little bit of a knock coming out on the teammate there.
Inside Game's in a good spot. In terms of points, you know, they're still chasing 80 points for them. They had some pretty impressive performances, I would say, in day 2. Trainhard themselves, a lot of kills for them as well yesterday, starting to really pick it up. They're in that 4th spot at the moment, the French team. So they're in a great position to get themselves in there. Wouldn't that be impressive?
It would
2
be.
new teams. I mean, honestly, if you were to look at the season and see ENCE and 7, you would question whether they'd be able to get back in there, because they had some pretty poor performances in Phase 3, certainly for 7 and ENCE. Obviously, both phases, Phase 2 and 3, have been disastrous.
Yeah, they've been far from ideal, and it is a bit of a reminder they are still great teams, but just, you know, in comparison to what they were playing against, it felt like they were very flat and maybe just unable to be as adaptive as some of the others and find new ways to play out the meta, because I think the desk was kind of alluding to the fact that this is a bit of a different caliber of team you're facing off against. You can hold those splits if you're feeling a little bit more likely, whereas I feel PEL teams are far more likely to go for crashes, scout correctly, and be able to identify weakness in a compound.
Yeah, it's interesting. The desk obviously talking about the PEL team they're starting to feel confident. I'm looking at ENCE right now. They have a very big spread. A very big spread. You know, TRYFFELI is off on his own, miikaz on his own, SKUIJKE on his own. Can't see where the hell Rustanmar is. I'm going to guess he's on his own because there seems to be spread all over the place for this next circle.
I imagine it'll be a 2-1-1. I guess he's by SKUIJKE, but I might be wrong. Again, but it's going to be very busy, so they do need to be aware of that. Bookie with the taps coming out there, hoping for a shot to land. He gets a few, but not enough for a knock, as he does identify DA hanging on to the outskirts there of Los Leones in the south.
Oh, his Rustanmar's dead. That's why we can't see him.
Oh, wow, okay. When did that happen?
Gone down early on. We've only lost 4, so must have been one of them. miikaz has Tempus Hanny right next door to him in that building. He's not going aggressive. SKUIJKE did go aggressive. GamerLegion were pulling up on that gas station I was talking about by Puerto Paraiso. And he is just going to back away. Don't think he quite realised how close that was. There's SKUIJKE doing his job, keeping them at bay. This is there should be like a shrine in here or something where about 20 players lost their lives in GLL Season 2. It was a chaotic game.
You gotta love those ones, the crazy ones. We see the final couple of teams heading through towards the circle. Lost Crew is one of them, Joker's one of the others, Train Hard and Tornado Energy in the southwest there, so on both sides. But most teams are somewhat now in the circle.
Yeah, and obviously with Lost Leonas, you know, talking about it, obviously, while it's an insane amount of unplayable area within this, because, God, we've got probably 55% water.
Yep.
Lost Leonas in there, which generally is not going to be
Always
done,
comes
and
out,
there we
okay.
go. It is going to be a pull away. So it pulls away from Lost Leonas. It goes down to the south side, and look at 7. That's the compound I was talking about, the one that 7 are in. We've seen it finish on and around that road compound, that double compound. It's normally like 2 teams between them. 7 are being a bit greedy at the moment, may get pressured on it, but we've seen that this circle finishing in and around there several times.
Yeah, and again, I worry about ENCE here. I feel like they're too split at this point. It's a bit too risky, as SKUIJKE will be very vulnerable here and easy to identify as one player, I can imagine, but I don't know how good the scouting is going to be on this. This is going to be a very... it's not... I don't feel this is as polarizing as some of the other circles we've seen. I think most teams will just be able to opt for this area as there's so much water in it.
Oh,
and that's a spin out. TRYFFELI's in trouble, and yeah, I'm a bit worried about ENCE's split here. I think they left it a little too late in the day in the circle, simply because it's got so much water, doesn't allow you to be that split up. It's too condensed. There's too many teams in one area, they're going to catch those rotations.
Yeah, so we're getting a great view of where the circle potentially could end there with 7. Just shows how open that road sort of area is with a big ditch either side of it. It's so polarizing for you're either in that compound or you're screwed. Train Hard coming down. They found themselves a home, so they're going to get in scot-free there. They have got DA down below them, which is what you can see as the clashing in the replay. So at the moment they're a little further off. QuickMath are up in the northern side of the circle, north of Porto Paraíso as they work their way down. There is a couple of compounds available ahead of them, so they should be able to find something. Unity engaged in a battle here with ELGIGANTEN. This is way north outside the circle. Last Crew also coming in. Last Crew in boats. Coming around the islands.
I mean, there's a lot of places to wait. They can shout in the ocean for a while. Have a nice time out there. SIXMO turns it, and Compot goes down. I'm not sure if it's a flush as he's just behind the hillside. Example might be able to get to him in time unless there's a third party. I don't think there is around there. No one's further west than them on the southern side. And this will be a lot of this. It's a lot of lines of sight. A lot of these hills can house plenty of teams. I like this terrain. I think it's very fun to watch. I think this is one of the better things on Miramar is that you do have this very viable terrain to play in, which is somewhat uncharacteristic of the old Erangel in comparison to the new one, for example. So good to see that being able to be utilized here. Gives room for teams to try and operate in and not just be left to rot. And there is another team gone, PG-18.
Okay. Right, QuickMath, move forward, got a good compound, and then got greedy. There's no reason for them to move into that position there. They'd already got a compound. I guess they were trying to scout and get a little further ahead. But yeah, it's just that's 2 players lost, and there was 2 in a car as well. It wasn't even like pre-scouted. PG-18 had the hillside. It was just lackluster.
Yeah, it does. That felt like we're just going to go and hope for the best, which I don't think you can these days. I think you have to be a little bit more reserved, especially if you're going to put 2 there. If they were going to put 1 man out to scout, I wouldn't be too offended by it. But yeah, as said, 2 full commitments. Not probably ideal. GamerLegion, nice little spot. 7s is still very, very strong, of course. And we basically have the north and south divide in this, or I guess you could say somewhat northeast and west. But yeah, you got Tempest, DA, Tornado Energy, Train Hard, GamerLegion, 7, all in that more southern area in the north. Airstation Mike, IG, PG-18, QuickMaths, and ELGIGANTEN and Co. Down towards the south we go.
Ooh, that's good for GamerLegion, a team that needs everything. I think they're on, what, 56 points or something like that? They need literally like a wing and a prayer going on for them to get anything back in there. They are currently 43 points off 4th place, so there is a lot of ground to be made up there. PG-18 finding yet another QuickMath player, so they're down to 1 now. That nade's going to finish them off, and there goes QuickMath out in 16th.
A little bit disappointing for them, I'm sure. GamerLegion need to be careful, though, because there's quite a nice compound to the south of them. It's fun to play, and I really like that compound. It's rough because the hill really overlooks, but this is all, rolling downhill now. You think about it from GamerLegion down, that's a hillside to the coast. It's all verticality. Big nade coming down. Oh,
how did the splash not get him there?
I know, considering what other times we've seen.
I know. I wonder with nades.
Yeah, who doesn't?
It's the commentators curse the nades. Northern Lights and IG, though, this is a battle for position. Both looking for as many points as they can. Northern Lights did very well yesterday, but they need to continue on. They're both within 4 points of one another currently in the table. I just want to see whether GamerLegion can pick something up. ENCE just got down to SKUIJKE at the moment because miikaz is outside the circle. I don't really see any way in for him either. PG18, though, we were talking about this, how they had a good position at the start. They've got 4 kills and counting so far. This is looking like a good start, but that's a hell of a nade.
Yeah, really well positioned. Placed that so perfectly. And this is a big clash kind of in the north. This is IG and 7 kind of kicking off here. Northern Lights trying to chime in on it as well. So this is that road leading from Los Leones down towards the coastline. Everyone piling in on it. And IG are actually losing out on numbers here. Losing out on 2 to be specific. I don't know if they have anyone else up. As 7 now try and sweep through the compounds as they spot weakness.
StarLadder down. Zampek now the last man standing for Zampek. GamerLegion have moved to the more central compound, expecting obviously phase 4 it's going to pull away from the water. That's why I keep talking about that 7 compound. It will completely pull away from the water position. That's why 7 did not move. They're well aware of how this one was played out before. PG18 of the team is losing players though. ELGIGANTEN going down as well. So that's, I think, just, yeah, I'm going to say just 1 remaining. It's Recrenti finds Hugstar. Doesn't manage to flush him out, though. Spins around, and Jazza's got his number. Catches him in the back, and will take him down. He'll be able to get Revive back in as well.
Yeah, from 0 to 0, it felt like they were holding that northeast side very, very diligently, taking a lot of fights and winning them, but it subsided swiftly, and they're now down and out in the first 2 spots. Nade comes out, can't quite flush tab, as Tempus unleash more. That one will. Klibs is going to do the job, do the damage, and Joker's suffering here on that western approach.
Well, here we go. Just going to pull away from the water. There we go. Onto GamerLegion. It's why they adjusted position. Looking like that sort of fields where Trainhard is a strong possibility right now. Solar is down there, though. Phantom going to get the revive in. Northern Lights are peppering them from afar. And the shots you can hear pinging off the vehicle. Joker's down south, getting tagged. That's the Tornado Energy guys. That's the south battle. All these guys, they all have to work up this hill. It's going to be treacherous for them, but I'm looking towards the northeast at the moment for Airstation. Mike, how are they going to get into the circle?
I think that's the big question in their mind as well. How do we approach this when we have Unity holding us off in the north, then we have to cross a road with ELGIGANTEN waiting in the south? There isn't many good approaches, and I don't know their utility. This is Mitraleius spinning around in the open. We should probably have a little look at that. That's a window. That's a window to Mitraleius. Also still in the ditch. Hey. Here it is. Let's see what their options are. Yeah, that southern side, no. They're going to have to go straight towards Unity. So I don't know what line of sight Unity are going to have on this. They might be in a bit of a lower ground, but...
So the position they're going towards that northern side. Now, Unity can't cross that road because 7 have them pinned anyway. So I don't see any option for Airstation, Mike, other than going down to where ELGIGANTEN were. This route to wrap around on the north, I'm not convinced by it. It's very hard. 7 get gifted a crate right between their compounds, so they're going to take that one with ease.
They've got vehicles?
They've got vehicles back there, yeah. So, okay, that's what they were going for, but it's going to bring them straight into Northern Lights territory, and 7 is going to pepper them from afar.
Oh, Unity. Look at them just waiting at the furthest hill like little trolls hiding down. That's going to be so hard to dig out of that position.
Oh,
Hugstar's going to be called off terribly here. That's going to be shot in the side in about 3 seconds if they look this way. Somehow he's managed to get past it. Not sure how he's still standing. He's clearing out as best he can, but maybe they heard the vehicles.
Yeah, they've pulled away as well. How did he not get shot there? Northern Lights have actually repositioned at the same time, so Airstation might kind of gifted a opportunity for now, but they are getting shot at by 7, who have just looted that crate. So they're 3'd up now. And there is Airstation Mike. So 7 do see him. Right, where do we go? GamerLegion are looking towards that little field area that Trainhard are in, expecting it to be one of the central areas, which is not too surprising. As the next circle, everybody sort of stands station at the moment.
Yeah, it's just waiting, isn't it? It's like, who's going to get absolutely screwed by this one? Pretty well spread. Most teams not too close by. You've got, I guess, 7 and Zampek are quite close to each other, but outside of that, it's somewhat safe. Oh, Sadovnik with the big one.
Nice. Okay. Lovely. Art style. Nice.
That's good. Who doesn't love these shots? You know, it's just so beautiful.
They offer so much information, I find.
It's the
you
context
know,
you get.
we get to know the meds that the players have that you wouldn't ordinarily see.
No, you're right.
You can just spot them from 100 meters away and see them on the side of the unit.
Yeah, for me, I also enjoy how the X-ray just looks really good in this.
Yes.
Because you don't actually know where Krabik is. Is he on the bottom floor, top floor, out the front? You don't know. It's a mystery,
Could be at
and
the
it
wall.
keeps you guessing.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Because he's currently looking towards Airstation Mike, but we don't know what angle
But
he's got.
what we do know is that he has to move.
Off we go. Jazza.
Freestyling
Mid-air
it.
moves, doesn't go well. An Occutive gonna just
Straight
benefit from
into,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Unity were waiting in this ditch for so long, and now Fexx probably gonna suffer a similar fate, I'd imagine. Snoopy, no, he can turn that one around. Airstation Mike trying to work forward, but they're caught in between two places. You've got an Occutive in the north, and then ELGIGANTEN just to the east of them.
So GamerLegion, this is your time to shine, to get something from it. Fake gets one down. I'm glad we cut away from him to the map a moment ago because, you know, we didn't want to see how that played out. Hence, miikaz, he's gone. That's going to leave SKUIJKE, the last man standing, who's kind of found himself central at the moment. Northern Lights, though, should be able to get
GamerLegion just saw him.
back up. Fake's down.
Oh, SKUIJKE just wanted to join GamerLegion. He wanted to be their friend. He was ready to join, boys, and then you just scared him off. Sweet little SKUIJKE just wanted some mates. Out in the west, though, things are going to get a little bit tricky. You can see it there. DA trying to hold back Tempest, and the Jokers make a dash for it. In the vehicles they go, and off they go. This is Lost Crew there. That's a little bit further out. A little bit of a different situation. They're both in the circle, so neither has really got too much of a pressure to fight, whereas the ones like Tempest will be forced into a battle pretty soon. DA overlooking the situation. They're not being too active towards Tempest. They're thinking about the Jokers.
So
that could be a problem.
The ditch is about to get pressure. Mitraleius' ditch, Northern Lights are going straight towards it. So Mitraleius' position, it's almost like the get-out clause for DA, is starting to get pressured. Here comes Northern Lights. You can see Mitraleius down in the distance. That's the little trench that they're all in and looking towards. Working down, and DA is going to draw their attention. Tempest also looking towards Northern Lights on this hillside. So they are the focus for many teams now. As Clib tries to rock the Kar 98 and lands the shot on OK Bro.
That's always good for these. Those little kind of pixel peaks people are doing on these ridge lines gives you a little chance to get that knot going. Not easy to land, though. The north looking a little treacherous for ELGIGANTEN as they have Zampeak lurking behind, but they're getting attention from a couple of the other teams here. A couple of stray bullets coming their way. You can see them zipping across, but it's, at the moment, Tornado Energy trying to work out their approach here, holding back Lost Crew.
So GamerLegion, they're trying to be as proactive as they can, but they've not really got anything yet. There's the first one. There's a knock. Rip gets taken down, so that's a chance for them to start collecting the points. They've got to really get proactive with this one, I'd like to see. But not overextend either, because that would be too much. Tempest have got right around the back of Northern Lights. They've completely flanked around them. Northern Lights, it's just that smoke between them at the moment. It's keeping them at bay. OK Bro tries to go for a peek around the side. Suddenly finds himself very busy. Wookie Bookie right there, looking through the smoke. Here comes Perfect trying to keep around that smoke. He's just going to see the shadow in a second. We can see him obviously clearly because the smoke on Spectator is slightly different. Hjortan now on the flank around, and Northern Lights just in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, Hjort needs to get in towards this, though. He does need to help out Wookie Bookie. Otherwise, Wookie Bookie is going to be having to go basically 1v4 here, and he's stepping up to the challenge, but he has to hit the reload. Timing not so good. Deep capitalizes on that, and that's a mistake.
Oh, wow.
Big error from Tempest to run out like that, and it's going to cost them this. Northern Lights should have been dead to rights.
bjorN's been found as well. Well, this last crew come up there, so he's gone down, but last Tempest there, that was their chance. They got the flank around and everything. DA still sat watching with 4 on their feet. 7 also working their way down south. The circle does move once again to GamerLegion's compound. Fexx, though, has to get bjorN back on his feet.
And I wouldn't normally say, in my eyes, GamerLegion are quite good at those, wider splits, but they're getting so much pressure. As soon as bjorN's gone down, you can see it. You've already got Compot lurking there. You've got a couple of the others starting to work up from the southern side. It's going to be rough.
Don't think this is a safe res. I'm not sure. I don't know what the terrain's like just there, that spot, but there's a lot of teams collapsing in on GamerLegion right now. I have no clue why we're staring at Trainhard, because 7 are looking to move, but they're not moving yet because the circle helps them. It's the south side of the circle where the action is happening, and I don't think bjorN's going to get back on his feet. Looks like he's going to be left to bleed out.
Yeah, I want to see if Compot's safe here. I'm not sure, because Lost Crew have Last Crew have kind of gone close here, but there is that ridgeline between them. There's the nade coming out, so bjorN definitely was not a safe revive, so thankfully no one committed to that one, but now it's down to 3 for GamerLegion. They do at least have a compound to fall back to. They can kind of flex back in, but look at the outskirts of this circle. It's basically GamerLegion, I guess train hard to some degree, and then everyone else on the outskirts.
So Northern Lights, they survived the Tempest assault. Can they survive more? Tornado inside. Last Crew and the Tornado Energy are going to be the two that will connect with one another in a moment. That's down on the south side of the circle. Sadovnik and Seven starting to move, looking for train hard, trying to find the Frenchman in the fields. He's got that little Wookiee suit on, so he's going to be quite hard to spot himself, but he is the forward man for Seven. Meanwhile, a 3-on-3 down south. Last Crew and Tornado Energy continue to size each other up. Sadovnik runs back. And these are the teams that will fight.
Yeah, a little bit of contact made. I want to see how they approach this high ground, low ground. What's their approach? Nade's going to come out and actually a peel away. Looking for other options, maybe trying to find a new angle, or just feeling this is not beneficial from this angle. We could be overwhelmed. We could be flanked from the northern side. Let's not go for that here.
Jokers are going to get involved. They're coming over the backside of Tornado Energy. So while they're all focused forward, Tornado Energy, and they're about to get a massive backstab on them. Compot's going to be the first man that we found. The boom will take him down, and suddenly they turn around. And the Last Crew realize the situation. They try to push in it. Example gets found out, and Elias, the last man alive. And Tornado Energy just like that, squashed like a bug. Nothing they could do about it. Meanwhile, in the fields now, we were waiting for it forever, and finally they strike. Unfortunately, it's too late. Solar's the last man standing, and Seven will take them down.
I swear they have another man up somewhere. Yes, they do. It's KnorkiS. He just backed out.
Made a run for it.
Yeah, he had to peel off from this one. As soon as that first kill came in, it just felt like it was unmanageable at that point. Seven have swept really quite methodically through these fields. We see Jokers continuing their southern sweep. They haven't fully cleared out Tornado Energy, so there is a remainder here, but dealing with the northern side. ELGIGANTEN meets SKUIJKE, and SKUIJKE succeeds. Yeah,
it got ghostar down there. KnorkiS was picked off by GamerLegion at almost the same precise second, so it was very much a hit and run. GamerLegion just the one kill from this position. They're really hoping they can benefit more from this. There's still 18 in the lobby, obviously 3 of them being them, but at the moment it's not looking like, even if they were to come out with a win with this supreme position that they've had the entire time, it's not going to be a big point score. Northern Lights about to get pressured in the north side. Seven about to come over the top of there. Meanwhile, we watch Alaya just standing in a ditch. It's exciting.
He's holding the angle, nothing to be seen. Sadovnik now pushing further forward, Seven cleaning out. They want to just secure their flanks, make sure that east and west is as easy as possible, but Spyro still is remaining. 7 kills for Northern Lights, a big game for them, but sadly it is ended. Down in 7th, but Northern Lights played a decent hand. Now keep in mind, DA have been somewhat quiet, but they are still there. They're quietly building in the west, slowly taking territory. You have Jokers in the south, you have GamerLegion in the east, and in the north, it's 7 for now. 5 teams.
DA chasing points as well as Jokers here. 7 obviously looking to extend their lead in that top 2. Train hard, still with the one inside. KnorkiS waiting. Is that crate bait going to draw anyone's attention, I wonder? You can see it in the fields there. Jokers looking towards it. They've spotted DA down low. 5 kills and counting for Moon so far. And his team. Circle shrink, centers up. It's great for KnorkiS.
He's having a great time, isn't he? He's just going to chill there. Sadovnik now, 12 shots to be made. That's plenty of kills if he fancies it. Well worth it at this point, just to pop off 14 players. That's not many to get through. Looking at that vest and that helmet is one of the biggest pickups out of that crate at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if 7 sweep forward for it. If they can get past it, they already have an Orm. Get another player 3'd up, that's always good. KnorkiS ain't going to be moving a muscle. He's going to stay here as long as he wants. He will not move. GamerLegion getting contact. That's towards 7. What's the terrain like? Now everyone's piling in on GamerLegion. Everyone's looking towards the east. That's the Jokers from the south. They need to move themselves, though.
Maccandark very lucky to escape that. Everybody looking at that compound this time around. DA, 4 inside. 2 sweeping. SIXMO and mert, they're sweeping towards 7 on the western circle. Jokers are still moving in towards GamerLegion as well. So you can see Sadovnik, he's still getting eyeballs on GamerLegion's compound. And I tell you what, KnorkiS in that hay bales, he's going to sit and ride this one out for a while. DA and Jokers going at it.
Yeah, very close by now. DA looking to the south. That is the Jokers they're getting the engagement with. The Jokers do have a bit of high ground, but they still don't have the circle position. This is going to make it really tough. A little bit of a plateau found for Set, but he might have been spotted. Yes, he has. KravIKE there. Happy to find those shots all day of the week. So again, it's not without answer. The problem with DA is they can't fully focus towards the Jokers without 7, maybe getting some shots in the back.
Where can they go? Molly's keeping them engaged. Smoke's going out. Going to try and flush around the side. Fexx finds the DMR exactly when he needed to. Oh, look at Sadovnik's position. He's got right up around the backside of Digital Athletics, but they spin on a dime and take him down. The nades from GL also catching the Jokers. They're trying to go aggressive on them as the other team clash in the north.
Hamster's just going to have to deal with, what, a 1v2 right now? He needs some support over here. Otherwise, he's going to get picked off and picked to pieces. BeautflDeath spraying in towards the smoke. He doesn't know exactly where Moon is, but they're all trying to just focus on the Jokers for now. This is a lot of players standing for the final moments. 12 players, 5 teams. That's huge for this circle. So every step you take is going to be risky. There is Hamster. He was going to be dealt a very tough hand to handle, but Mertz helped him out by claiming the life of Moon. He got the flush on Set anyway, so points for GamerLegion.
Fexx finds Buster as well in the north. There's time to collect the points here. Everything they can do helps towards their promotional chances. It's still a long way. Is it going to spread to him? Oh, he's safe. Hey, Bales, they don't catch fire. Did you not know that?
It's just a phoenix, isn't he, in the fire? He's perfectly fine. It just brings him alive. Now, he is the center point pretty much.
Well, more importantly, Maccandark's moved right up. You can see the Maccandark spot. He's kind of got that central spot, so that gives KnorkiS almost even more cover because GamerLegion are acting as his defenders. DA, though, it's got, I would say, BeautflDeath, possibly a big flank for him. KravIKE sitting in the smoke, so everybody's kind of staring at his angle right now. But the flank possibilities is DA could wrap around. They have the numbers advantage.
I want to just keep in mind a BeautflDeath. If he starts getting proactive in this, he's the one who'll swing on GamerLegion if they get contact. So you are going to have Mert and Mitraleius kind of being centralized. You'll have SIXMO watching the more northern side and a BeautflDeath in the south. He's the one, if they get contact in the middle, a BeautflDeath will pop up and be able to get vision on GamerLegion, focusing towards the main 2. They've now moved another piece of the puzzle down towards the south side. Contact's made, or at least a spray. Fexx, that was towards KravIKE, who's been slowly working in from the north, but there's that contact in the south. This is the fire, this is the engagement. Let's see if they commit to it.
Spotted each other. BeautflDeath takes a small bit of damage. He'll back away. No nades available for him either. The single med. Second smoke goes down. Now they're looking towards KravIKE once again, but they are all very close to one another, tripping over each other. If there's any nades to be had, now's the time to throw them, but I'm pretty sure they've expended everything they have. SIXMO gets fine. Fexx gets himself a quick gun down and the kill instantly. 5 and counting for Fexx as he looks for more. Maccandark comes around, sees Train hard. KnorkiS strikes, gets him down. Meanwhile, Fexx gets the refrag straight on him, but DA have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, DA are holding numbers at the moment. KravIKE is getting hit by the blue. He needs to move up here. KravIKE's about to go down. We're down to 2 teams.
It's Hamster.
Where are the final
it's
players?
Just Hamster.
Where's Hamster in this? He's left in a 1v3 and he's finally gone down. We barely saw it, but it's DA with the win. As they kept their players standing, they let everyone else fight it out, and they got the close.
It's a 6-kill win. It's 16 points on the board. It'll help them in their chance to keep on chasing. They were sitting at 83 points before this game began, so that will keep them up there. Train hard, though, getting the placements. I believe they were, I don't think they got 4th maybe in that, because I think they went down before 7. So a 4th place for them. 7, of course, great stuff for them. They picked up many a kill. GamerLegion, they really needed that win. I'm not too sure that's enough. It's going to be around about a, 12-point game for them. They needed more.
They did need more, and what we need more of is to hear from DA. I know the fans out there absolutely love this team, so I'm sure Paul is going to have a great time talking to the guys. Paul, what's it like down there with them?
All right, well, thank you very much, Lauren. Yes, down here with DA winners finally on day number 4. Guys, I'm going to start with you, Beautiful. You had to do it today. You had to start today strong, and you've done that.
Yeah, like it's now or never. Now or never.
Is there a lot of pressure on you guys? Because obviously coming down from PEL, you're one of the favourites to go straight back up again. Does that add more pressure?
No, it's just we put pressure on ourselves because we know we can do it, and it didn't go too well in the last 3 days, but hopefully today we're gonna outperform those 3 days and just make it there.
Okay. SIXMO, that was a much better performance as well, wasn't it? Why was it so different today at the start?
I mean, we just played it better than the other days. I mean, he said that there wasn't any pressure the other days, but yeah, like he said, we put pressure on ourselves, so I think that's kind of why we were not performing as how we're supposed to. But today started good.
Yeah, and you've still got a realistic chance of getting into that top 4 because it's quite close, isn't it? Between sort of 4th down to 9th or 10th place, quite a few teams in there.
Exactly, yeah, we do have the chance, and with this win, we got a good morale boost, and I hope we make it.
All right, well, I hope so too, for you two as well. Good luck, gents. That's DA. They've won our opening match of the day here in promotions.
I'm starting to think that Frost might be a fortune teller, because just before this game you said today DA has to step up. Either a fortune teller or you have comms with the team. I can't tell.
Oh, I just know stuff. No, but I mean, Miramar is by far the greatest map for DA, especially here in the promos, and they delivered this time. They got themselves the chicken dinner, but they also got themselves 6 kills, and that's going to put them up there, probably in the top 5 or something.
It's going to put them up there, and they have to continue this, and starting this momentum already now is obviously super important, but wow, this Southeastern Circle was so rough for so many teams. Good to see GamerLegion there in the end. They kind of threw it a little bit, in my opinion. They were way too passive. They didn't manage to get them the many kills they need if they actually want to get back into it. And then in the end, they didn't cover each other 1-1. Also, PGA team, they loot in Impala or El Asaha, depending on the plane, and here nobody in Puerto. How are they still stuck on the northern side of the circle, dying to Airstation miikaz here in 3rd phase? It's way too late for rotations.
Yeah, I mean, they should be quicker on the rotations, even if we had those hardships to the south there, since they were one of the first teams to be in the circle, and they could literally just take a center position. Would have taken that and be straight on the ready for the rotations.
Yeah.
When the circle popped, they would have been good. They wouldn't have been stuck on the edge. And we've seen this from this game here, how passive all of the teams are right now. They're trying to survive. They're trying to get all 4 up towards the end game. That's why Circle 7, we still had 10 teams alive. In this kind of circle, it shouldn't be happening.
No.
In your opinions, though, is that passive play the way to do this?
No. Not at all, especially
Why?
not in the end, because everybody's doing it, so there's so much space in the middle. So what you want to do is try to get to the center and then frag out from the center instead of trying to get kills on the edge. Obviously how GamerLegion here did it, get to the center, hold down the spot, but they were not proactive enough. They need to go around, they need to make sure they go out there and get some more
I'm going to
kills.
counter you on that one, actually.
Okay, go.
They did play well. They did got a center compound, and they were actually trying. They were bouncing in and out from the compound, trying to find people to shoot at. But because everybody was so much on the edge, they couldn't find anyone. And that's why they got all the kills basically in the end.
Yeah.
In Circle 7, they had 1 kill, and then they got 6 more after that. But once you start being passive like this, you're moving away from your normal gameplay, and you're doubting yourself. When you start doubting yourself, you're going to make the mistakes. Mistakes will lead you to not winning.
But even if they get 13 points in every single game like they did here, it's not going to be enough. Because all those are way too far ahead. So we actually got 7 teams from 3rd down to 9th right now. That is within 16 points of each other. Nice to see Fexx though with 6 of the kills from GamerLegion. He has been a force also in PEL Phase 3. He's actually managed to get more than 100 kills as well. So it's nice to see from him to frag out. Also, KnorkiS, however you want to pronounce his name, fragging out. He promised us 11 kills yesterday, so we managed to end up above 40. Now he's on 32. 1,000 damage dealer boy. Fexx. Lovely.
That's what I'm saying. You can see how they were pushing out from the compound, trying to find those kind of kills.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't find anyone at all. And that's why Fexx have so much damage as well.
So GamerLegion has quite a hill to climb if they want to make it into the top 4. PG18 on the other side, is this it? Are they out of contention?
Well, GamerLegion and PG18 is now 1 point is separating them. So we're talking 15 points average for the last 4 games if they want to be sure to make it into the top 4.
You want to do quick math? I'll give you the quick math. They're currently 35 points out from 4th place.
Yeah, exactly. And the other guys will continue to get points, average 5 points.
5.7, I think is the average.
We were talking 135 to 140 points to be sure to make it into the top 4 or maintain your spot in top 4. And ENCE, 139 right now. They need 1 point in the next 4 games. So I'm actually curious what they're going to do. We talked about, or we talked with them before the games here, Frost and I. We were like, are you going to hot drop? What's going to happen? We talked about strategy-wise, will they be denying? Will they be gatekeeping someone? It's exciting to see. I'm curious to see what they're going to do in the last 4 games.
We've got 4 teams from PEL Phase 3 who are now fighting to retain their spots. It looks like ENCE is going to keep it, 7 potentially. DA, we just saw with the Chicken Dinner and GamerLegion. So do you think that potentially a Contenders team is going to find their way into PEL 2020?
Definitely at least one contender team. I mean, GamerLegion is so far down right now. I don't want to count them up because like we've seen it so many times. Anything can happen. If they have a night stay, they're going to make it. Or an end stay, maybe we should call it nowadays.
It's an end stay from here on out.
So it's still possible, but at the same time, the level that they're showing right now, or they showed the previous days, has not been what we want to see and what we expect from a team that will be moving up to PL.
Is ENCE going to throw a spanner in the works and do something cheeky?
I hope so.
I think so.
Any other teams? Do you think any other teams are going to try the same thing?
Seven could do something as well. I mean, it all comes down to Seven and ENCE. They are pretty much secure right now. So those are the teams who actually can do that. If you're not secured, you don't want to be throwing that because that might hurt you, and you might not qualify because you're trying to gatekeep someone else from qualifying.
Who would you choose if you knew your spot was guaranteed? Who are the 3 teams? If you were in ENCE's spot right now, who are the 3 teams you want to come with you?
I don't know. I mean, ToWzErA, they have been looting Rushog on Wrangle, so that's a pretty good spot. So that could be something that could be targeted because of that. If they make it back into PL, they'll definitely try to defend that. If you want that for free, if you're 7 or ENCE is looting up in StarLadder and Starkey. I mean, that's Rushog is a lot better than that. Okay, so that could be one of the teams, and I wouldn't consider it BM. It's strategy. You're planning. You're trying to set yourself up for a better Phase 1 for 2020.
And I mean, we talked about that Unity might be a big threat for ENCE, but right now, looking at the leaderboard here, Digital Athletics, with that game moving themselves up to a 5th place, they might be the team that ENCE doesn't want to have in PL, and they can do something about it.
Why wouldn't you want them in PEL?
As I said, it's 100% the drop spots.
Just the drop spots.
Yeah, it's not. It's nothing against anything else.
Yeah.
Rushog is an amazing. It's a top 5, maybe top 6 spot on Wrangle because it's so center. You have easy connection to everywhere on the map. Yes, you can get a little bit later than everybody else in military because we have a lot of the southern teams. But on an average, Rushog is amazing. It's super well connected. It's central, and also they have had some pretty good spots on the other maps as well, which you can take away from them.
If you look at it, where ENCE is dropping right now, let's say they would drop StarLadder, go back to StarLadder, for example. If they take Ralsock instead, they would basically just have a better position to play from the start of the game. Yeah. That's all. They can still get first to StarLadder as well.
It's all to play for 4 spots in PEL 2020. We're going to take a quick break and have some fun now. This is Not a Drill.